Откъде идваме? Накъде отиваме? Защо сме тук? Какъв е смисълът на живота? Как да бъдем свободни? Защо България е прекрасно място? Защо вярата може би е отговорът? Тези и много други въпроси и отговори в подкаста "Въпрос на вяра". Разговори за духовност и култура.
Здравейте и добре дошли в следващото издание на "Въпрос на вяра". Това ще бъде един доста различен епизод, тъй като ще си говорим по-малко конкретно за вяра, а малко повече за един обществен проблем, за който не се говори много. А това е именно за проституция, трафик на хора, за червените фенери в Амстердам и българската среда. Този разговор ще бъде на английски, тъй като нашия гост е дошъл чак от Нидерландия и все още не е научил български, въпреки че голяма част от момичета, с които работи и на които помага, са българки. За мен е, не знам да кажа радост или човек, с който се познах, е много специален, но да, без много допълнителни думи, бих искал да приветствам Фриц. Welcome, Fritz.
Thank you.
So I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce your name right. The Dutch pronunciation is always a challenging one, but it's Fritz Raufut.
Rauwvoet.
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 Okay, well, Fritz, welcome.
Thank you.
Could you please briefly present yourself?
Yes. Now, I'm Fritz Rauwvoet, and I'm married with Jacqueline. We are 38 years now married. And I'm 67 years old. We have 2 daughters, 2 grandsons. And for 21 years, I'm working now in the red light of Amsterdam.
Wow. It's so many people probably expect something else rather than the real world. But how did you end up in the red light district?
Yeah, that's a story. I was working in the church as a full-timer there. So many times people came in, especially the women, and always they came to me and they start to share their story to me. Many girls were raped in the youth time, teenager time, and so I don't know why they came always to me. And I was really asking, Lord, why? Why me again and again? Let them go to someone, a woman in the church. That's better than that they come to me as a man. But it was happening always. And I was listening to them. And I give them always an advice. We have someone in the church. And as a woman, it's better that you speak with her. And I think this is really something that is good. Man helps man, woman helps woman. It's a really good rule. And so that was happening again and again. And then one time, I was on a business meeting with a couple, and then I knew I have to do something. So I was praying for her, and she was angry in the beginning, but there happened a lot in her, and she was crying so deeply. And when I go home, I say, okay, when you want to know more what was really happening, let me know. I come with my wife. So the evening behind, the day after, I came to her and her husband, and we were sharing what was happening in her. And she shared there were many people who were talking with me, psychologists, trauma therapists, and always was happening. Many times I was raped also by them. And then you start, can I talk with you? And I will pray for you. And then I start to be so angry. Sorry for that. And at the end, I say, okay, we talk now, and I have someone. You can speak with her, that's better. And then she stand up, and she stand before me, in front of me, and she say, God was using you, and he knows really you are a man. I will talk with you. My husband, your wife, or another person can sit next to you, but I speak with you. And that was for me and for my wife a sign that, yeah, I has to do something. And then someone from Russia, Murmansk, called me, and I knew that person very well. A girl, she was living on the street. She has a really bad past, and she said, Fritz, I want to come. I want to talk with some girls there and who speaks Russian, and I will encourage them, and maybe you can help them. Do you have an organization that I can connect with, and I can go with them to the street? So I was trying that. And all the organizations, all the churches say, no, no, no. And then my wife said, Fritz, I think you has to go with her into the streets. And we spoke a little bit about this together. It's very special thinking when your own wife sent you to the red light district. I think I'm the only man in the Netherlands.
Yeah, very likely to believe so.
Yeah. And then I was going into the red light with her. And I was thinking, okay, how do I make contact? That's one. Do the girls accept me as a man? I can imagine, no way. And third, and I think also really important, what can I offer them? I was manager of a Christian bookstore, and that was it. And so I make the decision for myself. I goes as a human to another human. That's important. That's what I want to do. Now, to make contact, that was easy. The girls, they were thinking, oh, there's a client, there's a guy, let's come here. So I walked to her window and said, hey, I'm here not for your body or for sex with you. I'm here only interested in you, who you are, and is it difficult to be far away from your family? And it's so quiet today. And then can you make the money that you need to pay everything? And so normal questions. And the girls, they accepted. I have that first day, many short contacts by the door. And some, maybe 10, 15, good conversations, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And sometimes people try to listen to our conversation and the girl say, come in, let's talk here. And that's more private. So we were in the windows and we spoke with them. And this Svetlana from Murmansk, after 3 months, her visa was ended, so she has to go back. And then my sister-in-law said, Fritz, I hear what you are doing. Can I go 1 or 2 times with you? I'm really interested, and I will look what I can do for these girls. And I thought, okay, I can 1 or 2 times more. And so I was again with her in the street. I think she was 3.5 years with us in the street. And so that was how we started, and we were growing a little bit, more team members. We did the outreach. We didn't have a social worker or people with knowledge about the laws and their rights or finances or taxes. It's a legal job in the Netherlands, so you have to pay the taxes also. And so our team was a little bit growing, and then the other organizations invited me to come. Fritz, let's talk how we can work together in the future. For me, it was okay. We do the outreach, you help them, you have the professionals. So you help them, you get the money from the government to help the girls. So for me, it was okay. But then they start to say to me, Van Fritz, you are not a professional. You are involved in the private life of these girls. I say, okay, you don't pay me, so you can't tell me what I have to do. And that was one. Second, they say, Fritz, when you bring a girl here, you have to break the contact with her. I said, that's not what we do. She's the only one who can break that contact. Not you, not I, she. She was trusting one of us to make a step in her life. So it's not a post packet, we bring it to an office and then we let it go. And so it was really, really difficult. And we were not a professional. So that was how we were starting. We were growing, and now we are 21 years in the red light. It's my job full-time, more than full-time, around 60 hours a week. So
thank you for the inspirational story. Now I have the next question, which is probably slightly more important, is how do women and girls end up in the red light district? Is it voluntary, or are they all victims of human trafficking? Because that's something that we don't discuss about this freely in the general society.
First of all, I think I know from the girls that I know, no one was dreaming to be a prostitute. Standing there in a small window in your lingerie in a red light. No one. There is always a reason that brings you there. I think all the girls are victim of the circumstances. Not always from a pimp, trafficked, but victim of the circumstances. Poverty. Many girls, they are raped in their childhood or teenager time. They say 96% of the girls who are working in prostitution are raped in childhood or teenager time.
96. Wow.
That's a lot. That says something. Not everyone who is raped comes in prostitution, but it's really high. And so I think this is really important to realize. One girl said one time to me, Fritz, they can use me always. So I make the decision, I will make money with it. So then I can control it by myself. But when you are working there, you can control nothing. The one who is paying you, he is the one who is controlling you. So I think this is important to realize. And of course, there are girls someone brought them in prostitution. It's not always kidnapping and you send you to a break house, beat you up and take all your money. But there are different ways of trafficking. But you are not the one who can make the decisions by yourself. Someone is telling you what you have to do. And sometimes they tell you only you do what the client wants. So that's what we see in the red light of Amsterdam. In the red light of Amsterdam, there are only girls are working who has the age of 21 years and who paying the taxes, who show their passport every day by the one who's renting the windows. So that's a little bit control there, a little bit. When the curtains are closed, then all the rules are gone. No control. But the police can come in, organizations like ours can come in and talk with the girls. Also, when she is trafficked, she can spend a little bit time with you. And that's difficult to see who is free or not at that moment. We were helping some girls, and when they came out, we hear that they were trafficked. One girl told me one time, Fritz, I come here with a friend and to build up our life together, to make very fast good money. And then after some weeks, he said, I have to go back to Romania and you will see me back in 2 weeks. And then never see him again. But he told her before he was leaving, these are 2 friends from me, they take care for you. After she realized she was sold and she has to work for them. Now, after some years, she was freed. But what you have to do, you don't have education. You are in a strange country. Prostitution is the only work that you know. So what you can do? So we were helping her to come out. She's back in Romania, but is totally traumatized. Still, after some years, it's very difficult for her. And it's also for us difficult. How we can help someone in Romania or in another country or in Bulgaria.
Probably that's why you're here now.
That's why I'm here.
So next question is just, we have many thoughts. You can never understand what's in the mind of a person, but I want to vocalize this one. Have you ever been a user yourself of paid sex? Because I'm pretty sure some people would be having this thought at the back of their minds.
I think as every young guy, boy, I was interested. At that time we didn't say pornography, but then you have the magazines and of course I was. And then you goes in sneaky in a sex store and then you bought one and then you was looking around for somebody seeing me when I come out. And but what I feel at that time, I was really ashamed. In the same time, I did it again. And I think this is with many men. And when it goes on in this way, and I think this is with every addiction, every time you make a step, every time a border, you cross a border, you goes on and on and on. And I think I was lucky. I stopped. I don't know when and how, but it was also not a really long time, but I did it. And I think this is for many young guys. And I don't say it's normal, but it's the world also around you. I've seen when I was 14 and you were on the school and all the guys, they are talking about it. And you want to say also something about that. You will not be the one who is separate of the group. And that's, I think, really important. No one wants to be the one who is separate from the group.
Peer pressure.
Yes.
The reason I ask this question is, in terms of the people who pay for sex, are they bad people? Because I want to give you a personal story here. I had a colleague back in the day, many years ago, and after a Christmas party, the party was over around 2 a.m., and he told me, hey man, let's go have some paid sex, hire some prostitutes. And I thought he was kidding, because I know he's a family person. He was like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm for real. I'm serious. Let's go. And I was shocked, because that's, first of all, he was a great performer at work. I know he had a beautiful family with a beautiful wife and 2 kids. And I know this because he was posting on Facebook every weekend going somewhere with his family. And I couldn't grasp it. And then I thought, okay, what's the reason for so many people to use? And by the way, I looked at some statistics. It varies from country to country, but on average, between 10% to 40% of men have paid sometime in their life for sex. So what's the profile of
I
those
think
men?
it's higher. There are more men. But every enquete, every research, not every man, also the girls in the windows, will not share the truth at that moment. So I think it's higher. And what we see, it's just, you can say in one way, normal men who are working in an office in a big company, who has a position, and after work they goes first in their costume with a good suitcase, goes first to the girl. And there was one girl, she was from Romania, she was working, at that time it was allowed working when he was 19 years old. She was working in prostitution, and she came, she called me and she said, Fritz, you are in the office? I said, yes, I'm here. Can I pass by? I said, of course, you're welcome. So she came and she was sitting next to me on the chair, and she said nothing. And I let it for that moment. Then she lay her head on my shoulder and started to cry. She shared, Fritz, there came in a man. He looks very good in a costume and a tie and everything. And we were smoking a cigarette. And he was so proud on his daughter. His daughter was 19 years old. He was so proud on his daughter. She was good on the school. She was a good sport player. She was good for some good reasons, other NGOs to help them with some money to support them. And in so many ways, she was so good, Fritz. And then, when his cigarette was gone, he take all his clothes out and he jumped on me. And she came to me and said, Fritz, how he can come home now? Sitting on the dinner table, give his daughter a hug, ask her, how was your day at the school? How he can do that? She didn't understand that. And when you see many men walking there, it can be everybody. It can be everybody. It's not only the bad ones, not only the one from low social types. No, it's everybody. It can be everybody. Look in our governments, what is happening there. Our politicians. Look in the world around us.
So politicians in the Netherlands are also like politicians all around the world.
Also, everywhere. And that's I think one of the when nothing changed there, how we get the laws and the rules there under. So when they do it there also. And I think this is really, really difficult or really complex.
Thank you for sharing. By the way, when I was reading over your executive summary, I need to admit that I wasn't aware of many of the issues with those ladies and people. And I wept. I was in the metro reading it and I couldn't help myself, but just putting myself in the shoes of those people, of their families, because many of them are mothers, sisters, daughters, and very often their family have no clue where they are and what they're doing. I actually have a friend of mine from my neighborhood. She's probably 60-something, and she usually goes out at night. She goes over the trash cans with a hoodie. She says, I'm a teacher. I do not want recognize me. I do not want my neighbors to recognize me. And said, my son is in South Africa. I haven't seen And each time we speak over the phone, he tells me he's doing well. I hope he's doing well. I tell him I'm doing well, although. So it's about all those personal stories. And my question here is, don't ever the people who use paid sex think about this thing, that there's actually a real person on the other side? And then the other thing is about pimps. Like, are they all bad people as well? Are they just greedy? Or they're slaves themselves in the whole vicious system?
The most clients, not every client, but the most clients see the girls only as a thing. You buy it.
Flesh.
Flesh. When you walk in the supermarket and you're looking for what kind of meat I want to eat this night by the dinner, or so they walk in the red light, searching which girl do I like for today. So I think this is really important. They are not thinking this is a daughter. In Holland, there are so people, they say it's good that we have prostitutes. Why? Then they will not rape our girls, daughters, wives in the streets. First of all, it's totally different what is going on here in the mind of a man to rape someone in the street or wherever, or he goes to a red light area or an escort or goes to a club. That's totally different what is going on in his mind. But to save our own daughters and wives, we will use someone else, his daughter. How you can say that? I was in Romania, in Bucharest, and I was there with my daughter for a conference about human trafficking. And I was with my daughter to an organization there that works under addicts, drugs addicts. And so we spoke there, and we goes by taxi, we goes back. But she was in another hotel than I. So we dropped my daughter first by her hotel. Then directly the taxi driver turned around to me. I know a good place with young girls, very cheap, very beautiful. And I said, why? He said, yeah, you're a man. I said, yes, I know. But why I have to go to there? Yeah, it's also good for them. They are working there. I said, okay, but they need the money. Yes, they need the money. I said, okay, bring me to your daughter. She will have also some money. Bring me to your daughter. And he said, no, I don't want that. I said, why you don't think that someone else had wanted for his daughter? Why? I'm here for a conference about human trafficking. That's why I'm here. Then he was ashamed. He turned around to say nothing more to me at that moment. But we think this is normal. And every man who is, for him, I was in a strange city there. So every man wants this. No, I don't want it. And one girl asked me also one time, Fritz, but of course you love sex. I said, of course I love sex, but with my wife, not with you. Yeah, that's the difference.
I'm afraid the world is so perverted, even what is natural, and vice versa. We spoke earlier in the preliminary conversation. Prostitution is part of the sex industry.
Yes.
And apparently the sex industry is one of the largest in the world. It's also very innovative because I come from the tech world. And security, cybersecurity, they're doing amazing also in terms of also business models. And that there are many people that are actually making money out of it. So it's all a matter of greed. And we know it very often people speak about power, money, and sex. And those three go together. But my question here is, as a society, is there something we could do in order to prevent this? Because let's say also pornography is part of this, and you mentioned actually, and I'd like you to share more of the connection between pornography and prostitution, because I'm not sure that many people are aware. Once again, looking at statistics, I think someone mentioned that roughly 80% of men look at porn, and it's not just males issue. So I'd like if you could share more, because let's say the people who view this podcast, I really hope none of them are sex workers, but I assume that some of them would be watching pornography. And I'd like to share unless people have a prevention about this it could get worse and then they could become victims either as objects or subjects?
First of all, pornography and prostitution is totally connected. And they share, always it's about love, and that's what you can find by a girl. But it has nothing to do with love. They say by themselves, it's almost the biggest industry in the world. So that's all about money. And what you see on the internet by pornography, you can get it home. You can buy it by someone who is working in prostitution, especially when she is victim of human trafficking. She has always to do what her pimp asks from her or the client asks. And so there is a big connection between pornography and prostitution. That's one. Second, I think what is also really important, they start now very young age, 8-9 years old, by TikTok and of course Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know all that platforms, but they start to send these young people, raping movies, pornography. So they prepare a new generation for prostitution and pornography. And when I look to myself, I don't have really the knowledge about all these things, how it works. And I don't realize not enough what is really going on social platforms. But I hear it. And I think what we have to do as prevention, first of all, we have to share open with our children what is going on. What are you watching for? We have, especially by the young age, we have to check their phones. Do you have different platforms? What was you open? What you was watching? You have to check it. And in the Netherlands, maybe also here, there is a special app, a family app, so you can control your children how much time they spend on Facebook, Instagram, or other platforms. So I think this is really, really important to have an open communication with your children. And it starts 8-9 years old, then it goes stronger and faster when they are 12 years old. Also, there's the influence then from the school, the other teenagers. And I think this is really important to realize. You will not be the one who is standing out of the group, so you will be part of the group. That's for the young guys. And they will be brave. I have some sex with a young girl. She was so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But young girls, they are so really ashamed when they don't have a sex so many times with different guys, then I'm not beautiful enough. So from both sides, they has to do something. I was sitting one time outside in the Netherlands in a restaurant, and I was talking with a young girl. She was at that time 19 years old, and she shared how she was working with her eyes also when she was walking in the street. And then two guys were passing the terrace where we were sitting, and I was seeing it was happening. They start to look to her. They start to work with their eyes, and she's dated back. So I'm always really enthusiastic. I stand up and say, "Hey guys, come here, drink a beer for me. What is happening here?" And then the guy told me, "Yeah, you see, it's a beautiful girl. It's a beautiful girl." I say, "Yes, I know, but there was more happening than only seeing a beautiful girl." "What was happening? Tell me." He said, "Oh, Fritz, you want to know her better." I said, "Do you understand? I will know her better." And I said, "You know that?" I said, "No, I don't know that. You have to tell me." And then he said, "You are her father." I said, "No, I'm." Yes, I say first, I'm her father. And then he was looking. I said, "No, you're not her father. You are a kind of a father for her." He said, "Yes. And when you want to know her, first you have to pass me. So that's what you have to know now. But tell me, why is this working for you?" And she was sitting next to me, totally red in her face. And he said, "When I don't have sex with many girls in a day, or
or sexual
or sexual handlings, yeah, then I don't have a good life in the group. And you don't understand me when I say I don't have a good life in the group. You know how that is.
In the group.
In their group.
How is it related?
So, and he was drinking his beer, and he left. And I give him my card to say, I want to drink a beer again with you. So, well, you are welcome. Now, I've never seen him back. But this is how it works between these two groups. And you will be part of a group. That's why they are doing that. Now, they were around 19 and the guy's a little bit older. And I think this is also something from this time, what is going on. And when you look at television, in many movies, there is part of sex. Maybe you don't see everything, but
you know it's there.
You know it's there. So and I think this is all around us. More when I was young. Again, with some clicks on your phone, you can see everything what you want to see. And I have to go sneaky into a sex store to buy something. But now in some clicks and nobody knows. That's why it is so important to have really good contact with your parents, or for parents that they have good contact with their children. This world has all to do with shame. All. And I think especially the fathers. Many girls told me, Fritz, when I have really a good father in my life, I was not here. Many. And it's not up to me to judge someone I don't know, the fathers, but I think it's so important. They take care for their income and that's it. They drinking a lot. They beat their wives or their children or both. And this makes it very difficult. One girl, she was running out the family when she has AIDS. Of course, directly in the arms of the wrong guy. Then she was pregnant. He kicked her out. She was, I thought, 16 years old at that moment. He kicked her out and she was walking in the streets of Romania, and then she has to go back to her parents. And her father said, okay, you can live on that side of the house, and we live on this side. I don't want to hear you. And when the baby is born, I don't want to hear the baby. But of course, a baby is crying a lot sometimes. And so he kicked her out in the winter. So she was walking there alone in the snow with her baby in her arms and one bag with some stuff. That was all what she has. Then her mother did something, and so she can come back. And when she has the age, she let her son by her parents, and she came to the Netherlands to make money to take care for her child, to make money for her own apartment, and also to help her mother, to take her mother out of that situation with her husband. And she was thinking, in some years I can do that. Now I think she is for 16 years in prostitution. And she has some money, but then COVID came, and the Ukrainians came to Romania also. So all the houses and the apartments are more expensive. So she didn't have enough money, still in prostitution now. Now she is busy to stop next year.
We live in a very broken world. Broken people in a broken world. And it's not about judging. It's about understanding the causes. So one of my desire with these conversations is, first of all, raising awareness. Because I don't think or at least I don't think about this every day. And most probably many of the people that have been victims of either prostitution or traffic, we don't see them on the streets, and we don't see all of the internal emotional struggles that. So my question here would be about Bulgaria, because you mentioned that roughly 40 or 50% of all of the women and girls that are from Eastern Europe are actually from Bulgaria.
Yeah, from the East European.
But out of them, another 40 are from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So let's say the proportion of Bulgarians and Romanians is quite high. What is the reason for this? Is it just economic reasons and purposes? And what could we do as a society to prevent girls to go into this way, and also how to prevent them from being trafficked? Because, as you mentioned, I've also heard a few cases whereby friends would sell their friends just to have money for economic purposes. And I said, like, what sort of friends are these? But because you've been doing this for 20 years.
We know a girl from Hungary who was sold by her own brother and sister. And then they sold her 2 kids. So, it's all about money. It's all about poverty. And I think it's really important as society that we look different to girls. Many girls are working in Amsterdam or in the West, let us say in the West. Many girls are working there. And they share, I'm working in a restaurant, I'm working in a daycare center for children, and that kind of things. So one time a girl called me, Fritz, my mother is coming and she wants to see the restaurant where I'm working. What can I do? I didn't have an answer at that moment. But this is what we share. In the same time, I think that many, especially maybe the mothers, they know what their daughters are doing. But we don't talk about it. We don't talk about sex or prostitution. And I think this is totally wrong. We have to speak more open about sex and about prostitution or pornography. Why? It has a big influence in our lives. And it's all about shame. The girls, they are ashamed for what they are doing. The men are ashamed that they buy sex or watching pornography. Everybody is ashamed. And I know only some girls and from the family, they know what she is doing. Some. But one girl came one time home and she came by the front door and her father opened the door. He told her only, I know what you are doing. I don't have a daughter anymore. And he closed the door. Called me, she was crying. She didn't know what to do. I told her, okay, it's better that you come directly here. Yeah, Fritz, but I don't have the money for I don't have the return. I have the return ticket for over some days. Not for now. I say, okay, we pay your ticket, but come back now. And I think this is we give them most times a stamp, a mark. She's the bad one. Stigma. That's what's on them. And she's the bad person. She's addicted to sex or money. She is lazy. She's a criminal. That's are the words that we use for her. But nobody is talking about all the men around one girl. She's the bad one. We don't talk about the men around her who are using her, who are paying her. When men didn't pay for sex, didn't go to a prostitute, then that was totally different.
Yeah. There's in economics, it's all about supply and demand. So I know that some countries have tried to make the users of paid sex illegal. I forgot which were the countries, but do you think this would be
Scandinavian?
Finland or
Sweden and Denmark and
Yes. So do you think that's something good that governments could do in order to prevent, or then it gets illegal, and becoming illegal, then it gets even worse because you can't actually take care of those girls that are...
It's difficult. I don't have a real good answer for this. I think, first of all, when the buyer is illegal, he get the fine. Then we say something as society and government. No one has to work in prostitution. That's what we share at that moment. So I think that's the good side from it. In the same time, yes, there is an illegal circuit. But now also in the Netherlands, I'm really ashamed that we make it legal in 2000. But we have also an illegal circuit. We work also in the hotels, girls who are working in escort. We invited some girls to come. We think, also the police, that 80% of that girls that are working in escort are illegal. They are not registered. They don't have an apartment somewhere. They are traveling from the north to the south, to the west, to the east, to Germany, to Belgium. And so it's very difficult to help them. Many of them, they don't know that there is help for them, that they have rights. They don't know that. So that's why we invited them and we pay them for their time. They have to call when they come down and someone is waiting in the car. They have to show some money. So we pay them for their time. And we can help some of these girls, but it's more difficult. They're traveling always. So, and this makes it really complex and difficult. And I think it's good that we make some steps. I think for in the Netherlands, first we have to go back in the years before 2000. Prostitution is illegal. This is what we do. We know it is there, but when there is a situation, now the police can go in and say, hey, prostitution is not allowed. We take you and you go for a timeout to somewhere. So you have some time to think about your situation. And now when you show all the documents, we can do nothing. And then a next step can be back do what they do in Sweden and in Scandinavia. It's the buyer is illegal. It's okay to be a prostitute, but it's forbidden to buy the sex.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes.
That's what I
so
meant.
And you show something to the girls and to the world. And I think this is good. In the same time, yes, there is an illegal circuit, but now in the Netherlands, the police has to focus on the legal and the illegal circuit. You can be trafficked, but you stay legal in a window.
Okay, I have a question here now about the illegal one and about people that are trafficked and are there against their will. What is the way out?
I think, first of all, you have to trust someone in an organization like ours. For us, we are not really an official organization. Yes, we are official, registered and everything, but we don't get the money from the government. So it gives us more freedom. And we don't register everything after a conversation with a girl. And so for the girls that feel more safe, that's one. And the way out is to trust someone in a strange country to make a step. And that means for us, you have to show something on the other side. When she stops, that there is something else. This is not always easy. And we have to be open about that. We were helping some girls, but we didn't find a solution for them that they have a job or a way out or whatever. And but we don't give up. We're still there on her side. And that's what the girls knows from us. Now, especially this year, 2026, many times girls give my phone number to another girl. And they call me, Fritz, I have 60,000 euro debts, 70,000 euro debts. How you can go back to Bulgaria? Never you will pay it back, but it's the European Union, so they find you always. So how you can go back? That's not possible. So you have first to pay your debts. But also now she don't make it. The business is very bad. I think through all the circumstances in the world now, what is happening around us, it's very bad the last months. So then we have to look first what we can do in the Netherlands, that we can make some steps. And the government is really wants to do something for the girls who make a step. Not only the ones who are trafficked, they get more help. They get social benefit directly. They get an apartment. They get all the help that they need. Also a lawyer, everything she can get. The girl who was not trafficked, she can get, when she has 5 years working in the Netherlands, she can get some social benefit. Then she has to pay also her taxes and everything. Everything has to be official. And then she gets right help. What we do, we help everybody. When we started, there was no money for the girls from East Europe. The government didn't pay the organizations. So we were the only one who were helping girls from East Europe in Amsterdam. then they got the subsidy from the government and everybody jumps on it. And that's good. Now there is more help, so it's okay. But the way out is not easy. You have to make a step. You have to come back. When you go to your home country, you have to go back in your family. And you're scared, you're traumatized sometimes, and so you don't know how to handle it. And so this is really difficult, especially when they know nothing. Then she get the blue envelopes from the government, from the taxes, and you have to tell them why you get so many, again and again and again. So it's not easy, but it is possible. And first of all, I respect all the girls who make that step.
There is hope.
There
That's
is
the
hope.
important thing. Thank you for all these stories, and we're approaching the end of our conversation. My final question would be, because we spoke that you're part of a church, and this podcast is also about faith and spirituality. And I'm going to ask the question of the skeptic, which would say the reason that you're helping those girls is because you want them to convert them to the church or to whatever. What is the reason? And actually, I have a couple of questions. Are you doing this for religious purposes because you want to be a good Christian or anything? And second thing is, what could the church as an institution do? So, for example, we have the Bulgarian Orthodox Church is quite large. We do have lots of social initiatives, for example, feeding hungry people and homeless, etc. But I'm not aware of too many churches doing anything about this specific group of people. And in our case with Bulgaria, I would say we're a great but we're a big exporter of women and girls to the West. What could we do to just prevent and take a good care of our...
Your first question, yes, I'm a Christian, and many times they were asking me, Fritz, when you was not a Christian, you was doing this also. And the first time I was thinking, this is a really good question. And I said, give me some time to have a good answer. And I told them, yes, I think I did this also. Maybe it was a little bit different, but I did it also. And what we are doing in the red light, the key that we have, that's not the professional help. That's not only the gospel, Jesus saves and he can change your life. And when you accept him, everything will go better. No, that's not what we do. They know that we are Christians. They know it really. And they ask sometimes, Fritz, pray for me. But it's not from out of us directly. And I think this is important. I think Jesus was walking around here in this world, and he was also really practical, involved in the lives of people. In Matthew 9, verse 5, I believe, Jesus was walking in the cities and the villages, and he was seeing the people, how they were lost, as sheep without a shepherd. Now, and I think this is really important. When I walk there, and I realize that Jesus is in me, him is given all the might in heaven and on earth. And sometimes there is a girl that we didn't spoke with. Oh no, I have a nice story, very short. I was one time, it was really late in the night, and it was really hot, and I was thirsty. So before I goes home, I was drinking something in a bar, and then a girl came, she was older, I think she was 50 at that moment, and still working in prostitution, and she was seeing me, and she said, "Oh, Jesus, you are also here." And then the barkeeper told her, that's not Jesus. And she say, but they work really good together. So I think this is, we didn't spoke with her, but they know who we are. In one way, it's a small world there. They know who we are. And there we have more girls. Sometimes one girl, she was in a conversation with a client, and then she was seeing me. She said, "Hey, go back. And come later, come back. Fritz, come in. And I'm always with another woman next to me. So we goes in, say, you have to pray for my daughter. It goes very bad with my daughter. Okay, please, can you pray for my daughter? So relationship is the key. And I think this is important. And when we are interested in someone, you see that you will receive it also back. So people are interested in me and they start to ask me, why, Fritz? And then I can share also more about myself. And then I can share also, never I was expecting that I was walking here in the red light. But God has a mission for me. So he was asking me. And I think this is important. And then you can come to some things. We have baptized many girls. And we have baptized one time a girl who was still working in prostitution. But she gave her life to Christ. We didn't find a way out for her at that moment. We didn't find it. But the Bible is really clear. When you accept Jesus, we can baptize you. So she is baptized. After some months, I hear from someone in another city, Fritz, you get the greetings from Mariana. She's out. She's so thankful that you was always praying for her, that you was believing in her, that you has baptized her. And she is now here in our church. She's a church member. She followed the Bible studies, everything, and it goes very well with her. And I think this is really important. When I'm walking there, girls telling me, Fritz, when you pass my window, then I know there is really passing my window who's really seeing me. Not only my body, but me, who I am. And I think this is really important. And I know when I pass your window, Jesus is passing your window. And I do it now for 21 years. I think when I was not a Christian, I don't know, I was doing it 21 years without a salary. I live from what people give to me. And for 60 hours in a week, who's doing that? And I'm doing that. I think Jesus was doing the same.
Fritz, thank you so much. Thank you for the story. Thank you that you have devoted your life to serve women and girls that are in this dark world that you described. I really hope all the best. Probably we could, I don't know if you have international bank account, probably if some of our viewers may want to donate and support your organization, this would be lovely. So really, really thank you. Истината е, че не знам какво да кажа след всички тези истории. Доста сериозна тема. И това е място, което би трябвало да споделим края на този епизод, но всъщност имаме, то не е изненада, но нещо, което за самия мен, имаме последващ гост. И това е Катерина. Тя е българка, която самата тя е била в индустрията на проституцията. Катерина не е истинското име, нарочно, защото искаме да запазим анонимност. Съответно, няма да има визуален контакт с нея, но искахме да покажем, че всъщност има надежда. Благодаря за това, че си тук. И благодаря за това, че имаш смелостта да излезеш смело, да заявиш пред целия свят всичко, през което си преминала.
Добре да споделяме за това нещо, за да се види, че има надежда, защото малко се говори по тези теми. И жените, които сме направили грешни решения, за нас е доста трудно да говорим, също така и да излезнем от това. И е добре да се говори за това нещо.
Добре, благодаря. Първо, би ли споделил как изобщо попадна на това място?
То по принцип повечето истории са за жени, които са попаднали в манипулация на мъже или любовни връзки, но моята история не беше такава. Моята история беше по-скоро, мислейки си, че бих създала по-добро бъдеще за семейството си и за себе си, по-добър живот. Попаднах в тъмнина, в която беше много трудно да се излезне и която съсипа живота ми, психиката ми и контактите с семейството ми. Имаше силно чувство за вина, страх, безнадеждие, загуба на идентичност, но слава на Бога, че имаше хора там, които бяха за нас и ни съпровождаха в този труден период. Бих искала да насърча българите да бъдем по-активни по тези теми, защото нашите деца са там и в Европа повечето в Европа проституцията е легална, в България не е, но искам да кажа това, че абсолютно всички места, които са заети от легалната проституция, са от наши момичета българки и румънки и малка част от други държави. Но това, че за проституцията не е легална в България, това не значи, че не е наш проблем. И трябва да знаем последствията, които води. след тези грешни избори или, как да кажа, нехайното на народа. Не значи повечето момичета, които са там, това, което видях, са жени, които са без майки, без бащи, жени, които са насилвани от родителите си, от домовете. И сякаш това в нашата държава стана като мода. И никой не обръща внимание, но нека да не забравяме, че това могат да бъдат и нашите деца, и също майките, които отглеждат децата си.
Широк смисъл на думата, това са нашите деца и това са нашите майки.
Да,
за съжаление,
да.
последните години сме загубили това чувство за общност. И щом не се случва, нали, в моят апартамент, значи не е мой проблем, а всъщност е общ проблем, защото това влияе на взаимоотношенията, на приятелството, на връзките в последствие. Според теб, за какво е хубаво широката общественост да знае? За тъмнината, която е там, или по-скоро за надеждата след това? На кого би искала да кажеш?
Ами на двете страни. Нека се знае за тъмнината, като поука, моят пример да бъде, и също това и за надежда, че има надежда. Там, където изглежда, че няма път, има път. И аз съм тук да свидетелствам за това нещо, че изход има. И това, че на последно време проституцията, наркотиците, секс индустрията стана като мода в нашата държава и като нещо нормално, на което не се обръща внимание. И искам да призва майки и бащи, нека да обърнат внимание, защото не видях също, както поделих, че видях момичета, които са от бедни семейства, неграмотни, от домове за сираци. Също видях и много интелигентни, изучени момичета, които са попаднали в тази среда, и родителите им мислят, че те са омъжени с семейства в чужбина и са им дали образование като доктори, адвокати. Всъщност тяхните дъщери също са там. Затова, че никой не е застрахован и нека обществото да се събуди, защото реалността е такава, че нашите деца са там. Заредени са улиците на цяла Европа с нашите деца. Последствията са тежки за психиката, за живота, за взаимоотношенията. Това е фатално, но има изход. И тези жени имат нужда от подкрепа. Фондациите, които помагат на жените, са може би единствената врата към изход, и благодаря на Бог, че ги има.
Да, това е важно да се знае, че изход винаги има, макар да изглежда невъзможно на пръв поглед. Просто това голяма част от хората, които са поробителите, нарочно искат хората да си мислят, че няма.
Да, това е изход има. И аз съм тук да свидетелствам за това и да кажа, че това отнема дълго време и подкрепа на доста хора, които са ме съпровождали, и не беше лесно, но е възможно.
Тоест, ако правилно съм разбрал, всъщност организацията на Фриц ти е помогнала и на теб?
Да, аз го срещнах Фриц на улицата, слава Богу, че срещнах него, и той така, видях един старец, който ме заинтересува, така с рошева прическа.
Един благ старец.
Да, един благ старец. Аз през това време, докато бях там, четях Библия, но някак си ми липсваше подкрепа и разбиране. И едно от момичетата, които бяхме заедно там, ми каза така, виж, срещнах един луд дядка, благ, но луд. Изкофял дядка, както се казва. И той говори за Господ, пък и да гледаме тебе, че четеш Библията. Нека да ви запозная. И слава Богу, че тя не запозна. Фриц, не съм поискала някаква такава помощ, която да нужда от жилище или нещо от психолог, психиатър, но беше достатъчно, и той беше там за нас. И знаех просто, че ако имам нужда от нещо, от подкрепа или насоки за помощ, за излизането ми, за крачките, които правя да излезна, той е там за мен и някак си ми даде сила първо да взема вътрешно решение, след това да направя крачки към излизане. И благодаря на Бог, че го изпрати там за нас и за повечето, за нашите жени и деца.
И аз благодаря за това, което сподели. Тук има една важна поука, че Библията и вярата не са за хората, които са перфектни. Тъкмо напротив. Христос казва, Болните имат нужда от лекар,
Болните, да.
не здравите. И благодаря, че споделяш всичко това. Какво друго считаш, че е добре да знаем, като хора, които нямаме пряк достъп до този свят? Какво може да направим, за да помогнем? Т.е. да подкрепим финансово някоя такава организация или пък да работим за образование, така че когато хората са по-образовани, да имат по-голяма възможност, така че да не се налага да избират това, т.е. да имат повече други възможности за работа.
Това, което бихме могли да направим, виждам, че при Фриц, наблюдение от Фриц и други фондации, които имам, виждам, че Румъния и други държави се включват в борба с трафика на хора и тази тема е важна за тях, докато ние в България някак за нас е табу и го подмитаме под килима и сякак не се случва. Нека тези теми се говорят и да се знае, че това наркотици и проституция са реални неща в нашето ежедневие. С нашите деца се случват тези неща и нека да се говори, да има подкрепа и нека и нашата държава да се включи към борбата с трафика на хора.
Тоест може да кажем, общество събуди се, ало, къде сте?
Да, това се случва на нас.
Може би един друг въпрос. Заговорихме за секс индустрията. Тя е представена по много бляскав начин. В случая и порнографията, това, което се опитва да се продава, това, за което каза и Фриц, че нон-стоп има. Тя е навсякъде заливани. Т.е. по-скоро човек трябва да се постарае да няма достъп до нея, отколкото обратното. Какво би казал малко да хвърлим кал по секс индустрията?
Секс индустрията е една лъжа, една манипулация. Това е един начин на изкарване на пари, но не и за тези, които го вършат, а за тези, които манипулират жертвите. Секс индустрията съсипват тялото ти, съсипва душата ти, психиката ти, живота ти. За мен секс индустрията, това, което бях, беше адът. И там без Господ бях загубена. Там вече са секс, наркотици, загуба на себе си. Какво да кажа? Трябва някак си да не се показва като бляскаво, защото така много жени и деца се подлъгват и попадат в една тъмнина, от която няма измъкване. И затова съм тук да кажа, че трябва да се надигнем.
Благодаря, защото вярвам, че твой глас ще бъде чут от много хора. Финални думи. Какво би казала може би на момичета, които са там, искат да излезнат, и на обикновения редови човек, който си пуска вечер новините, ляга си спокойно и изобщо нито знае за съществуването на този свят, нито може би кой е грижа.
То си като народопсихология при нас, ако не се случи на мене, значи не съществува проблема. Това мога да кажа за българите, за нашата страна. И за момичетата искам да кажа, изход има и това не е реалността.
Благодаря много. Благодаря и на всички слушатели, които бяхте с нас до края. Истината не знам какво да кажа. Освен... Ако имате такива теми, за които искате да говорим, или гости, които искате да поканим, пишете ни. В случай днешния епизод беше точно така. В неделя една близка, позната ми се обади и каза: това, което правите е страхотно, мисля, че е подходящ човек за вас. Така че пишете ни, обаждайте се и нека да направим българското общество на по-здраво общество. Желаем ви всичко добро.